everybody. Welcome to another episode of It's Crystal Clear, a show that's designed to tell your money where to go instead of always wondering where it went. My name is Felicia Young, and as always, I want to thank you all for trusting me to help you along this journey. So today's episode is called Life is Meant to Be Lived. And I am very excited about this episode. Y'all know we have been on a journey together for over 9 months now, doing the things that we need to do in order to help us become financially stable, pay off old debt so we can do some new things with our life. And you all know recently we had 4 people who were awarded a financial gift for achieving their goals. And I am so excited that we have one of them here today, Mr. Barry Nix. Hey, Barry.
Hi, how you doing?
I'm good. Thank you so much for taking time out your busy schedule
Yes.
to come and talk to the people today.
Thank you so much for having me.
Good. So, some people know you, some people don't. So, tell us about yourself.
Barry Nix, born and raised in Chicago. Did 20 years in the military and ended up in Beaumont.
How long ago did you come to Beaumont?
Been in Beaumont since 2005.
Okay. So, how did you get to Beaumont?
The military brought me to Texas, and my kid's mother brought me to Beaumont.
Gotcha. Okay. So when you were growing up in Chicago, tell us about the life there. Tell us about like how your parents raised you all as far as money is concerned. What was that like?
Well, there was, first of all, a one-parent household
Okay.
with 12 kids.
Wow. Okay.
So things were tight. We really didn't talk too much about money. My mother she wasn't very educated.
Okay.
So there was really no talks about money. We just lived and survived.
Wow.
Yes, it was really, it was kind of tough.
Okay.
When you have 12 kids and one income, so that's pretty tough.
So did you as the children, did y'all understand what was going on in your household or y'all were just living life?
We just living life.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, as you get older, you realize, okay, what she was doing, but growing up, didn't know.
Mm-hmm.
Had food to eat. Wasn't always what we wanted,
Mm-hmm.
but we had food to eat.
Mm-hmm. And so as you started growing up and you decided after graduating high school which path that you want to take, what made you choose the military?
Well, I knew at that time that we couldn't afford to go to college. I couldn't afford to go to college, so I think that was the best choice for me to get out of Chicago and just see different things, and do different things,
Mm-hmm.
and just start a new career,
Wow.
new path.
Wow. So how long were you in the military?
20 years. I did 7 in the Army and 13 in the Air Force.
Okay. And so how did they train you or do anything as far as finances, getting y'all prepared for life after military?
Yes. Of course, the military, you have to be really on point with your finances, especially if you're traveling a lot and going different places. You have to make sure we had to get bank accounts. That was my first time ever having a bank account in the military.
Okay.
Because we had to, because you never know if we're going to get deployed somewhere. We had to have family members to be able to access those accounts if we couldn't, if we was out of the country. So that was the first start of my financial path.
Okay. Awesome. So when you were in the military, where did you see yourself being in 5 years, 10 years? Like, what was your dreams?
Well, I don't know. It kind of changed. At one point, I thought I was going to spend 20 years in the Army. Then 4 years after that, it was like, nope, I want to try something else. But then after that, I went back into the Army Reserve.
Okay.
That's how I ended up with 7 years. And I kind of didn't like that either. I said, well, what am I going to do? So I did those 7 years. I worked for a little while and ended up in San Antonio with my kid's mother going to law school.
Oh, wow.
And that's how I got introduced to the Air Force.
Wow.
And so in 2001, that's when I went to the Air Force.
So what was that experience like?
Now, the Air Force experience compared to the Army was night and day. Now, it was better for my life, better for my career, and even better for my financial health.
Oh, wow. Okay. Awesome. So you told us you were one of 12 from a single parent household. You went to the military. At any point when you were by yourself or with your family, married and kids, did you face financial challenges like you did when you were younger? Did you have any downfalls?
Yes, just life. There were times when I was out of the military, working regular jobs, trying to take care of a wife and 3 kids, things were tight. So, but we persevered and worked any job I could find
Mm,
to make sure the rent was paid, water was on,
mhm,
lights was on, and even back then, those days, the economy wasn't as bad as it is
mm,
today.
mhm.
So they made it a little bit easier, but it still was pretty tough.
Okay, okay. So how long was that challenge?
Well, actually, I didn't get saved until '92, and then that's when I really started learning about the Lord and what He could provide and being
Mm,
blessed
mhm.
because I didn't know.
Right.
But once I started seeing what the Lord could do for me, as far as you sow into Him, He's going to sow back.
Wow.
And
Wow.
that was the
Wow.
first part. And then, like they say, you can't beat God given. Once I started tithing, my life really just changed.
Really.
Things weren't as tough anymore because He had me.
Mhm,
So it
mhm,
got better.
mhm.
You,
So what's that with the tithing portion of it? Because we know we hear the why need God need money? Why? Was that a struggle for you, or was that something easy for you to adjust to?
well, in the beginning, it was a struggle. Of course, the devil going to say, you got to pay that light bill.
Mm, mhm,
Don't give that to the church,
mhm, mhm.
you know. But then once I started saying, well, let me try God.
Yeah.
Once I tried him, that was it.
Wow.
It was it. And I've never seen lack like before, like Chicago. I've
Mhm.
never seen lack like that again.
Wow. Mhm.
And actually, it's went higher and higher and higher since then.
Wow. 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 That's amazing. So my question is, how, whenever you made the decision to start paying off debt and want to live life, because life is great, how were you able to successfully balance both? I have to pay these bills, but I want to go hang out there. I want to pay these bills. I really want that for myself. How did you balance?
Well, I think the bills to me were more important.
Hmm.
Some things you just can't do.
Hmm.
Some things you just can't buy. If you have a goal that's going to be better for your life, better for your family, you have to make sacrifices.
Hmm. Hmm.
I'm not going out to eat today. I'm
Hmm.
gonna make me a sandwich at home.
Hmm.
I'm not going out to the party or to the club or whatever the case may be.
Hmm.
You just stay at home
Hmm.
because you have a bigger goal, a bigger plan for your life and for your family. So
Hmm.
it's all about making those. What's important to you?
Right.
Make those important sacrifices for a bigger goal.
So how, in what age range were you when you had that mindset change?
I guess around the late 30s, early 40s.
Okay.
It kind of changed a little bit, because I mean, I was getting older. Once kids were getting older, they
Mhm.
were in college and about to get out of college. So I'm like,
Mhm.
okay, I got to do things different. I
Right.
had already started that, but
Right.
it even changed even more because I'm like, okay, they're about to be grown. I'm about to be older. So
Mhm.
I have to do a few things different now.
Right. So with your sons, did you teach them about finances? What did you show them to where they were able to leave college and be like, okay, this is what we're going to do as well to make sure we're not in the same situation that my parents were in?
Right. Thank God with my military background with the Army and the Air Force and just being around other people who were financial astute, I was able to show them things and teach them
Mhm.
things about saving, about paying your bills on
Mhm.
time and taking care of your debts and things
Mhm.
of that nature. So um, just talking to them,
Yeah.
just sitting them down. They see that, like Pastor always talk about, let your kids see you paying the bills.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
This is for these lights that's
Yeah.
on.
Yeah.
This is for that air. This is
Yeah.
for that food in the refrigerator.
Yeah.
You see this?
Yeah.
Here's a check stub.
Mm.
That's what this means.
Mhm.
Here's a checkbook.
Mhm.
So I did teach them. I didn't have that
Right.
background, so I didn't want them to go down the same road I went to. So I showed them things, a lot of things.
That's phenomenal. That's really phenomenal. So I think I can answer this, but I want you to answer it. Since you were able to manage your money really well, did you become a spender or did you stay a person that managed and was tight, squeezing money?
I'm a, I stayed tight. I think if I was to win the lottery or a lot of money today, I'll still be tight. I'm very frugal.
Mhm,
I have to have some coupons and discounts before. So I've never been a big spender.
mhm. So why?
Well, for one, I always knew I can get a better deal somewhere.
Yeah.
If I'm military, I get a military discount too. So I'm always looking at ways to cut corners and save money. And then, like, the more money you save by just spending, you can do bigger things with it.
Right,
Yeah.
right, right, right. Okay, that's cool. So this year we did a church-wide project and we chose to help individuals eliminate debt. 2 years ago, we paid off our church note. A year ago, we paid off our youth activity building. And that process was by people coming together and focusing on this is what we're going to do. So I'm going to go above and beyond my tithes to help the church pay off its debt. And we were able to do it back to back. This year, we decided if we were able to use that same focus on buildings as a collective, what could we do individually? And so you chose to become a part of our Free and D program, paying off debt so we can hit more goals. What made you decide to become a part of the Free and D program?
Again, I think if the church is free of debt,
Mm,
they can help more people inside the church
mm,
and even outside the church, in the community, other churches, anybody that's maybe in need.
mhm,
So that frees us up to do
mhm,
other things bigger and better.
mhm. So whenever you decided to start the process, you had a few things that you wanted to have paid off. Initially, was it hard for you to go above and beyond because you had to hit certain goals? You had to pay a little extra in order to wipe off that debt. Was it difficult for you at first? Did you have to make a big change in your life?
No, thank God, since I wasn't a big time spender, I was kind of frugal.
Mm-hmm.
So the little extra helped me to put it towards the debts that I had. So
Mm-hmm.
it wasn't hard.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But I know some people might not have extra.
Mm-hmm.
But if you have that bigger goal,
Mm-hmm.
you stick to that goal and do whatever it takes to stay to that goal.
Right.
If you have to cut here or cut there, and I'm not saying don't cut your bills,
Right. Right.
don't cut your utilities,
Right.
but your necessities, make sure those are taken care of, and everything else you can cut back and because you have a bigger goal.
Yeah. 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 So you had 3 notes that I know of that you were able to knock out the box. When you got the notice that said paid in full, 0 balance, describe your feeling when you saw that.
Well, I think I started crying because some of it took a little while.
Yeah.
So you have to, you see it coming down, you see it, you're working, and you finally get to that 0.
Mm,
And once you get that paperwork,
mhm,
that's the icing on the cake.
mhm,
And it's
mhm,
like, wow, I finally did it. So it's a wonderful feeling.
mhm,
It takes a little time and a little perseverance, but
mhm.
if you really have your focus on your goal, like I
Yeah,
keep saying,
yeah,
you have to have a goal. And if you really want to achieve that, you have to stay focused.
yeah, 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 yeah. So, at the same time that you were paying off notes, um, you had another dream that you were working on. And so everything was happening simultaneously at the same time. Do you mind sharing what that bigger goal was?
The bigger goal was buying my first home. So I knew by eliminating those debts,
Mm,
that would make it a little bit easier to
mm,
get a home. So that was the bigger goal,
mhm,
to have my first brand new house.
mhm.
And I can't be more happy than anything.
So why did you choose to purchase a house now at this point in your life?
Well, I am 56 years old,
Yeah,
so I have more years behind me and ahead of me. So just like it's time.
yeah.
It's time to just relax and live life and enjoy it to the fullest.
Mm, mhm, mhm,
Yeah.
mhm, mhm. So have you always wanted to purchase a home? Was this always a dream of yours, or you were kind of enjoying traveling with the military and just enjoying what that came about with?
Yes, it always has been a dream, but being with the military, this place, that place, this place, I wanted to settle down and say, once I stop,
Mhm.
that's it.
Mm,
Buy the house, and then, like I said, happily ever after. Then,
right,
till death do me part.
right.
That was it.
Wow, that's amazing. So, with your home buying process, what was it like for you?
It wasn't too bad. It wasn't hard. I mean, if you do your little research before,
Mhm,
and start looking at things and talking to other people,
mhm,
then when your time come,
mhm,
you'll kind of know what to do.
mhm,
So it wasn't too hard. It just whatever someone tell you to do,
mhm,
just go and do it
mhm,
because you still have that goal. So like I said, talking to other people,
mhm,
reading books and
mhm, mhm,
magazines, so you can get an idea of what
mhm,
you're about to get into.
mhm, mhm, mhm. So, how did it feel knowing that you did not need to pay those notes anymore so you could get a home that fits your lifestyle? How did it feel? Because a lot of people still have those notes and they can't afford as much house because their debt is on them. So, how did it feel knowing that I can pick whatever I want right now?
I don't have words. I couldn't even get. it's a wonderful feeling because, like I said, you don't have this other big thing over here, and you're trying to get a bigger thing here. So that kind of sometimes, if it's too big, you can't even get a house. You can't
Right.
get some other things, even
Right.
a TV. Sometimes if
Right.
it's too much.
Mm-hmm.
So once it got eliminated, and the Lord allowed me to go and do house shopping, house hunting, it was easy and great.
Mm-hmm. So, you recently closed on your house. Describe your closing day, the night before, the day of. Describe the feeling. Because we have people out here who have a dream of owning their own home. And they think because of XYZ, they'll never be able to see it. But they see your face. Your story is a familiar story. Describe to them how it feels so they'll want to have that feeling as well.
Well, the night before closing, I couldn't sleep. I was nervous. I was shaking, and I thought about things of what I'm going to need to close, what I'm going to need for the house, and things of that. Just things I shouldn't have been worried about.
Mhm.
But it all comes with it. The day of closing, I was I couldn't even sign my name. I had to stop. But it was a it was a happy and nervous
Yeah.
feeling all at the same time. And then all those things I called myself worrying about the night before,
Mm.
the Lord erased them.
Mhm.
That
Mhm.
next day. It was a Wednesday, Thursday I closed, and all those things that I didn't sleep about that
Right.
night before,
Right.
He erased it off of me.
Wow. Wow.
So that even made it even more. After we left, I didn't tell you, I cried all the way home
Wow. Wow. Wow.
because
Wow.
I'm
Wow.
like, wow, this dream that I thought I would never see
Mm.
because of time. Like, why?
Mhm.
When is it going to happen?
Mhm.
When it finally happened, I'm like, is this real?
Mm.
Am I dreaming?
Mm. Mm.
And when that it sets in, you see those keys and you see the paperwork. This is real.
Mm. Mhm.
So yeah, I cried all the way home.
And so, I know people behind the scenes story. Y'all tell me y'all stuff. Y'all tell me y'all. So I'm always excited whenever I hear what's going on. So the fact that you know that God already had everything ready for you. So you were sharing with me some of the stuff that you were thinking about wanting to do XYZ, and the fact that you kept hearing God say, "But I got
I
you."
got you.
How explain the spiritual side of this journey? And it's not necessarily just about green slips of paper, credit cards, house, but the spiritual journey of God saying, "Whatever you want." Explain that.
Well, I think I got that back in San Antonio when I was going through something, and the scripture kept jumping out. You have not because you ask not.
Wow. Okay.
So I asked for this house,
Mm-hmm.
and I thought I would have some hurdles,
Mm-hmm.
but I didn't
Mm-hmm.
because he said, "You asked for it.
Mm-hmm.
You've been doing what you were supposed to do, and you throwing the script in my face,
Yeah. Yeah.
so I have to act on it."
Yeah.
So that's all it was. You have not because you ask not.
Mm.
And I stuck to that, and I kept doing, "Hey God, I want this house." And like I said, He made it. It was just almost too good to be true, but
Mm.
that's what He do.
Yes. Right. Right.
That's
Right.
what He
Right.
do.
Right. Right.
He's gonna show up and show out in ways that no one even knows or imagine.
Yeah.
That's what He did.
Yeah.
Right.
Wow. Okay. So the name of this episode is called Life is Meant to Be Lived. So now that the only note you have is your house note and your utilities and stuff, what are some future goals? What's your next goal? What do you want to do with your life?
Uh, just live it.
Yeah.
Just live it and enjoy it to the rest of the time I have left on earth.
Yeah.
Just live life.
Yeah. Yeah.
Stress free and debt free.
Yes. Right. Right. Right.
So
Right.
that makes it a little bit more easy. Do a little traveling, of course, and
Mhm.
just the normal stuff.
Right.
I don't really have any major big goals.
Yeah.
I've done a lot of things already, so I'm just on this time. Just want to
Mhm.
coast on out.
Right. So the final thing I would like for you to discuss, because you're a deacon at our church, you're very involved in our church, you're very seen at our church. People know Barry Nix. For the men out there who are looking, who don't have it as easy as you do, for the families who don't have it as a deacon, give some solid advice on what they need to focus on in order to become debt free or achieve dreams, paying off debt. What are some things that you would recommend our audience do in order for them to have that same feeling you had on closing day?
Well, first and foremost, you have to pray.
Mhm.
Talk to God. Just be specific as far as what you like, what you want, and that's what I did. Talk to God. And then once God give you the direction to go, follow that direction. Because when you talk to him, he's going to talk back. But you have to be ready to listen. It's not always going to be in a loud bullhorn. It might be a small, still voice. Like when I was going through that night, he kept saying, I got you. And it was just like that. I got you. He wasn't like, he wasn't screaming.
Right.
I'm worried about, Lord, what I'm going to do? He said, I got you. What you worried about?
Right.
But then I go right back. He said, what are you doing? I got you. Just like that.
Yeah.
So just stay focused. First of all, make a goal, make a plan, and then execute. Whatever you have to do. Like I said, take the big ones and knock them. However you need to do it, just start knocking things down, taking, paying off stuff, clearing things up. Get your credit report.
Yeah.
Look at it in detail and see what's on there. Okay, because it's a lot of some stuff you're gonna have to explain what's on there. If you got a very good credit report, but you scot free. But if you have some things on there and you know you need to either fix or pay off, do it.
Right.
Keep all your documentation because they're gonna ask about that. So, and that's it. Just make your goal and execute that goal and stay on it. It's not going to be easy, but if you have that picture in mind, that's what I want. And you can see it. It might be far away, but the more you trail away, and keep going, you're going to get closer and closer. And before you know it, to be there.
Yeah. Wow. Wow. Well, I want to thank you for that. So I want to thank Deacon Barry Nix for just spending his time with us today, being transparent about some of the things that he went through in order to achieve his goals, especially the one of home ownership that is so awesome. It's just so awesome. I tell you all the time that all you have to do is stop being so busy, being busy, so you can make time to hear what God has for you to do. And I promise He wants you to live like an amazingly abundant life. And you can't do it if you're living paycheck to paycheck. You can't do it if you're stressing over bills. You can't do it if you're constantly swiping that debit card. You can't do it if you're buying shoes and clothes that you don't need. You have to focus. You have to stop, and you have to trust that God's got you. Yeah. So that is this week's episode. And I want you to do what I always tell you to do. I want you to dream big. I want you to stay focused. And I want you to live your best life within budget. I will see you next time on It's Crystal Clear.